whenever.
Here they are, my fellow guardians. Not crazy. They're real.
They're real. All of my so-called fellow guardians.
Am I crazy, or do you also see somebody wrote settings and
Yeah.
post-processing on the wall? Why did they do
Yeah,
that?
it's so That's such a wild graffiti to have there.
It's a really crazy graffiti to do.
Wild.
That said, we can go cards up in 3. Oh, hold on a minute. Sorry. Cards up in 3. Oh. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, friends. This is the tower, also known as the Last City, where they reside on Earth, or what is left of it after the Great Collapse. As mentioned on our way here, the last remnants of humanity, the last echoes, reside down below in the bustling city, while the Guardians reside up here. We remain ever watchful over our people and ensure their protection from the darkness.
So,
This is all
whenever
that is left.
you guys talk about the Traveler, you mean...
Him. Yes,
Yes.
that is the Traveler.
Thought the moon just wanted to give everybody a hug for a second.
No.
No, that would be far worse. The Hive and the Vex live on the moon now.
Is that their god?
Moon.
I
It is as the Guardians
I
say,
can't really tell.
moon's haunted.
think
Interesting.
it depends on... Probably depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Alright. I heard that their little AI companions are actually angels.
Oh, sorry. She was just curious if this is what, I guess, would be your guys', god?
This is Trinity, yes.
Huh.
And your little AI companions are your angels.
Correct.
Yes, the goat, the ghost. The connection between Guardian and the Traveler. It is
Ghosts
shared
are
the
goated.
So true. With the
Our
sauce.
Guardians. I've heard Guardians say that before, that their ghost is the goat. But I never understand it. I don't even know what a goat is.
So
It's an
it's
acronym.
alright, honey. It's okay. You got this.
Oh, greatest of all time, of course. The Traveler is pretty, goated.
Yep, it sure is. Alright.
Now,
Nice to meet your
without
goat
wasting
god and
any-
You seem
everything.
to be having a moment. Are you alright?
I believe it is convulsing in pain.
Sorry, it's my lung. It's my lung. It's just... Ooh,
The
It's
air is a
just
little
you
bit
need a new
different
one.
up here. We might need a little bit down complete.
Indeed, we are quite far up. Without wasting any further time, Zavala has allowed us the war room for today. He has occupations which take him elsewhere. So, we will be... How did that ball get there? The Guardians must be playing with it again.
Is that common?
Extremely.
Let me see.
You... Oh, I see.
Where are we
Those
heading?
balls. Straightforward.
Very well then.
Interesting.
I suppose it would be kind of me to give a small tour. This is the Tower Center. That is the Postmaster. They collect engrams and things left behind by Guardians on the field. Over there is our Kotar, Master...
I believe I should make something clear to you. Engrams are different to... It means a different thing to people who live in this world. It is not an individual stored upon a digital hard drive, a copy of their consciousness. No, it is a relic, data of all technology.
Ah, well
Alright.
said. I did not know you had a different term for it. Precisely. Engrams are Golden Age technology. Blueprints from a time long past, preserved in technological data form. Guardians typically bring them back to the tower so they can be researched and made into weapons and armor. Golden Age technology is powerful stuff. The Cryptarch, over there. He is the one who studies in cryptology, the decrypting of engrams, figuring out their source, the blueprints which hide within, and then work alongside the gunsmith over yonder, Banshee. He is the one who assembles the weapons from the blueprints presented.
I see. You've got basically... Oh.
To our far left, we won't be going there, but that is the shipwright. Think of it as a garage for Guardians. It is where ships are stored, worked upon, prepared for flight. And to our right is the bazaar. It is a calm location for Guardians to rest, relax. And the speaker once lived there as well.
I see. Seems like you all just have everything. All encompassed and needed.
This place was not built within a day, however. It has been a long and arduous road to build this place to the state it has become. And we've had to do much and more fighting to get what we need.
I see.
It has not been easy, but we have earned more than earned our peace. And we still continue to fight for the last echoes of humanity. I will take the far side of the table. You all may stand around as you see fit.
Very well then.
All I really needs to invest in some seats.
He is a man of action, Ish-Irik. He only sits when he, well, believes he has earned it. Now, Miss Aurora, you wish to speak to myself about an upcoming concern of yours. Perhaps something relating to the Vex?
Indeed. It has come to my overwhelming attention, as is the attention of those who I consider family within my house, that Vex incursions have been cropping up in multitudes of different areas across our great city. But it also seems as though, as these incursions have been occurring over multiple time, that centralized points of entry have started popping up due to the number of due to the frequent rate of increased activity, I should say. What we're looking for is information. We understand their aggressive nature and that they are varying with much more aggressive forces, much more elite forces. Higher technology is being utilized. But what we're looking at is trying to understand more about the technologies that's being used and more about race and the culture in and of itself. Any information that we can get on them would be useful.
If I could be shown how to interface with one of these pads, I can show you some images from my memories of the Vex that we most recently fought.
These are data pads that we utilize. There should be a connection port you can utilize. In the meantime... There you are. It's Eric. Would you mind accessing the console over yonder and procuring the data packets I have on the Vex?
Of course, Michael.
I only got a good look at three types. The normal, smaller soldiers, the medium sized ones that were kind of bigger, and the Gate Lord.
I believe we are looking at a goblin and a hobgoblin, as well as the Gate Lord.
They're shiny and new, white and gold.
Precisely. As prior discussed, the Vex are beings that walk time and space themselves. They have a past, a present, and a future for themselves. Thank you, dear friend. The Vex have, or we have classified the Vex into these three quadrants. The future are known as the Descendants. They are more rough, take on a green, almost plant-like texture, very old. The Precursors, the far past, they are the white and gold that you have seen, far stronger, far more formidable, typically found on places like Mercury, the Infinite Forest. They are security of some kind, more powerful forces. And then you have the Soul Divisive, the present-day Vex. I don't believe you have yet to encounter them, but they reside within our realm mostly, and have been harassing our people, the Guardians, from the Moon to Earth to Venus, for as long as we can remember. The Soul Divisive is the largest and most active quadrant of the Vex. They are the present day, and so naturally they are the most active. As for how the Vex work, there is indeed a hierarchy to them. In fact, the Vex are not soldiers by heart, they are builders. As said before, they seek to transform all worlds into machine planets which produce radiolaria naturally and create more of their kinds within their depths. As such, they must be prepared to do what they seek to do, build. However, they too are capable of combat. It is fascinating to think that those who are made for construction are so very formidable. They have been fighting for a very long time, as have we.
This pattern you speak of repeats. I have seen various pieces of construction equipment and individuals built for construction within their home, used for great violence as well.
So, the concept should not be too unfamiliar. Regardless, the hierarchy is as follows. Goblins, of all three of our factions, are the rank and file. They are the weakest of the group, not only in durability, but in firepower. In great mass, they can be an issue. However, they are sent to whittle down their targets. They will send them in large groups in order to push you back, hold the line, and whittle down your defenses. Then, the hobgoblins, precision specialists, typically carrying a line rifle, a kind of technological weapon of Vex creation that fires a round of sorts akin to that of a sniper rifle. Very powerful, very piercing. A laser round which leaves a burning sensation and typically pierces armor. Skin burns to bone. It is very deadly. And so I advise keeping a sharp eye on them. They are swift, and their technology is directly interfaced with their rifle. They do not need to take aim and focus on their target. Their targeting systems within are more than capable of finding where you are and taking the right shots. Then, there are Minotaurs. They are the heavier units of our friends. They are made for, well, they too are made for holding the line, however not in the sense of whittling down a target. Instead, they are the brute force strength. They will cleave through defense as much as needed. Not only are they versatile with their explosive weaponry, imbued with void magics from our realm, but they also pack quite a bit of strength, known for breaking limbs from guardians. I've even seen a few cases where guardians have been picked up and, well, torn in half, or had their necks broken. They are as vicious as they need to be rid of their target. Minotaurs are no small thing. Then there are harpies. I believe you have yet to see these ones. Harpies are small, drone-like entities, utilized for security, patrol, viewing different things, the procuring of information, such as sight. Precisely.
Scouts.
Observation. Yes. They are swift and can fly. They do not have a body. They are typically an optic with shielding units around them, and they have built-in weaponry to fire at you should you startle them. They are, however, easy and swift to deal with so long as you shoot for the center, their eye. Their radiolarian cores are far smaller, and so they're within the harpy's body, but the amount of damage one does to its eye is enough to destroy it. Then there are the Cyclops, also not yet seen. Their radiolarian cores are impenetrable. They are built on purpose to be hard to crack. However, the eye at their center is where they are weakest. 4 shielding units around it, large metal plates which do not take kindly to any kind of fire. But the optic in the center is key. Not only is it utilized for them to view you, but it is also where they fire powerful void rounds, cannon shots almost. They are built to be large turrets.
Are these hovering in the air and the shields go around them?
No, that is a Hydra.
Oh.
The Cyclops remains completely to itself. It is stationary. A turret, but much larger than your average turret, I suppose. They remain completely stationary and cannot move. However, they can swivel their heads around to fire at you. The Hydra, the one you have spoken of, have typically 2 to 3 shields which orbit around them at any given moment. These shields cannot be disabled, and they are impenetrable. However, give care, for where they move and reveal parts of its weakness is where you can best perform the most amount of damage to their chassis and their eye, which too is their main weakness. And then there is the Wyvern, one of the only units the Vex have created specifically for combat, as opposed to construction. Wyverns are large. They have no arms. 2 powerful legs used for stomping, crushing, climbing. They have
That's the
shields
one.
which radiate from their sides. These shields protect any units that are behind them. They too are impenetrable. Their center, their head, is where they are somewhat weakest. However, their core is closed when you first encounter them. Placing enough damage to their chassis, however, will cause their center core to open, revealing its weakness to you. That is your best opportunity to attack. Otherwise, they have void weaponry to the left and right of their head, akin to shotgun technology almost, that they utilize to pierce and rip their enemy to splinters. And then, the Gate Lords. They are large minotaurs in technicality, but they are very powerful and very important within the Vex hierarchy. Gate Lords are key holders in a way. We give them this name because they typically hold or protect gate, a Vex gate of sorts. A place that we can access and utilize to get elsewhere where the Vex presence is stronger. They are very important and typically carry access codes or an identifying key factor, something we can utilize as their signature to enter a place otherwise inaccessible for guardians.
Interesting.
We get to the gods of the Vex, but they are different completely, if you would like to learn of them.
Of course.
There are two gods of great note. Atheon, time's conflux. Atheon is a god of time within the Vault of Glass. It is a stronghold which resides on Venus, a place they built long ago after the Great Collapse, when humanity could no longer keep an eye on their planet. They built this stronghold, and within Atheon took control, bending time and space itself. Many a guardian have entered, and few have returned. The slaying of Atheon happened some time ago. However, the Vex have recently been crafty, and have found a way to bring him, alongside other, entities from long past that we have already gotten rid of, back to the present, making this endeavor especially difficult. And then there is the current threat, Panoptes, the Infinite Mind. Panoptes is the leader of the Infinite Forest, and likely the Vex mind that is behind the recent attacks you have all dealt with. He is the one who commands the Precursors, these white and gold Vex as you have come to know them. He is their leader, and he commands the Infinite Forest, a planet-sized simulation which lies on Mercury, one I have been working tirelessly to gain access to, so I can have the team attempting to save Bucky and Miss Liberty to enter and do as intended. Save them. It is highly likely Panoptes is at the center of these Vex attacks. Once he is cut out of the equation, these Vex attacks will likely slow to a stop. Without a leader, a figurehead, they will be, well, much less of a threat than they are now. Without coordination, make no mistake, the Vex will not be mindless in this state, but things will become far more difficult for them. It is something that will halt their progress for a good while, and perhaps make them think twice about attacking you again. But slaying a god is no easy feat. Understand, Atheon is not a simple threat. He is at the very top of all of this.
I see.
Yes, Miss.
They have projectiles, purple energy. It hurts, but I don't know what it is.
The
It's like
purple energy you have
grenades.
seen emitted from the Vex is an energy native to this realm. It is known as void. There are three types of energy within our realm: arc, solar, and void. It is a projection of paracausal energy given to us from the Traveler. However, it has also occurred naturally on some planets and worlds. This energy is either utilized by Guardians to push back the darkness, or defend their allies, as Ishkirik has displayed. Void is most known for its protective qualities, but it can be equally dangerous, as you have found. The Vex utilize it in their weaponry. It is a cosmic element known for eating away at that which it encounters. The Vex have engineered it to be more explosive, more unstable, but only unto their enemies. The Torch Hammer, a weapon utilized by Minotaurs, explodes with void energy when it impacts, not only dealing the damage in explosive wood, but also coating one in void energy, which eats away at all things. Metal, flesh, muscle, bone. It would be advised to attempt to clean yourself of the element, or remove that which you are wearing to ensure it does not devour any further. But I assure you the energy is not infinite. It will eat away for a time before dissipating completely. It is not akin to a creature that needs to continue sustenance to prosper. It is merely an energy that will fizzle out after some time. However, the Vex are also weak to this energy. Their shielding and weaponry being made from it, it can be utilized against them, and is most effective. Void energies, as they occur naturally on planets, have been harvested and placed into weaponry. and so I have more than enough weapons which could be dispensed, which can be utilized to crush the Vex force.
As a member of the Hive, would Hive weaponry be any good against them?
The Hive have been known to use void weaponry on some slim occasions. Yes. Though it would depend on what you use. The Acolyte's Shredder utilizes void energy, however, its output is very small in the way of actual damage. The Boomer Cannon, which is what Knights utilize, does not utilize void energy, however. It is merely a explosive magical energy that the Hive have. They have snipers. Their name eludes me at present, but they utilize void energy as well. It's on very slim occasion they utilize it, unfortunately. But either utilizing Vex technology and re-engineering it, which has been done plenty of times before, made into or added onto weaponry, or even requesting weaponry from this place, we can provide arms and armaments which are imbued with the void element. And so, it can aid in your cleaving down of the Vex.
Well, the reason why I ask is because he's got a Hive Shredder, and I've got a rail gun.
Well, I've also got a, I believe it was called a Shattered Cipher. I assisted with a mission. I believe it was some opposition was out there. Yeah, yeah, but you're right. I've kept it. It's just, I suppose never really had enemies I've really had to use it against, but I guess times are changing.
This is not to say that you have to flip your arsenal entirely upside down. The choice to utilize our weapons and armor is entirely yours. Make no mistake, however, the weapons and armaments we utilize here is built for these threats. I cannot say the same for your own armaments, but I would not speak so openly about that which I don't understand myself. For all I know, you may very well have multiple things more than capable of doing the job. The choice is yours.
I can profess upon seeing their weaponry in combat what at least two of the individuals before us are equipped with and their functionality. I'm sure you are aware what a rail cannon is, Kell.
I heard mention of it here and there, but the word has been phased out of vocabulary in present day. Linear fusion rifles are more akin to this.
It requires no fusion, instead utilizing electromagnets to propel steel rods at hypersonic speeds. Its physical destructive force is great. I reckon it would suffice. Vic here utilizes a blade. It is
Thermal weaponry. I utilize thermal weaponry, which is why against most of the Vex I've been just about all but useless.
I see.
The Shredder might
They are
work,
not
though.
good for heat. That much is true. Either way, whether we are efficient against them at present or not, I can aid in the preparing of you, and the others, should they desire. But I will not impose myself onto any of you. It is merely a free offer which stands. Regardless, we must return to the reason we are here. Information on the Vex. While they are weak to this element, and it would be advised to utilize it, Radiolarian cores are typically where most Vex are weak. Those who do not have a Radiolarian core which is open and apparent, you'll want to shoot for the eye instead. One of two things will typically happen as a result. It will either open the steel door protecting their core, or it will do the damage required to bring it down. I understand you have been taking notes throughout, but we also are here to provide data. This chip when inserted into a machine, should download multiple pieces of data on the Vex. It is everything I've been able to acquire over the years of my research, from the current threat you fight, the precursors, to the descendants and the Soul Divisive, and even some of the Vex minds we have been re-encountering, such as Brachion, the Genesis mind, the one who I have heard has recently taken liberty.
I see. We are most gracious for this. Thank you.
Of course.
I got 2 questions, if it's okay if I ask.
Please.
If we're talking about, and just make sure I'm listening to the conversation right, slaying a, whether it be digital or not, a god, why wouldn't we have guardians go and handle something like this? Why are we being entrusted with a task like this?
We say we're going to send them to kill them.
Pardon?
You speak fast again.
I am afraid our realm hangs in a balance. We have dealt with numerous threats of similar level, time and again. In the past few months, the leader of the darkness itself, the figurehead at the very center of years of our problems, known as the Witness, has been vanquished by Guardians. A most triumphant feat, that which we have sought after for years. Love, loss, life, death, rebirth. All of these things which we have been stricken with, time and again. This everlasting war, this fight against the darkness, had finally come to an end with the vanquishing of the Witness, the very thing that encompasses the darkness, that drives it so. But with his death, a vortex of power opens, a need that must be filled, and the Vex sought to fill it first. They advanced on all worlds, taking the time we had given them to prepare, while we had focused our efforts on the Witness to build themselves anew. And now, they have assaulted us on all fronts. Not a single planet thus far has remained free of their oppression. All planets, even those which we had not ever seen the Vex on prior, are now experiencing mass insurgences of them across the surface. And now, in the most recent months, they have stepped foot here, Earth, a place we have never allowed them to touch until now, because we have been spread so thin. Even now, a great deal of Guardians fight on an everlasting war with the Vex, on all planets. Beyond our city's wall lies a tarred precipice, war against Guardians and the Vex. Everlasting. We are expending every last bit of our resources, every last Guardian, to fend off against the Vex. And the Guardians you see within the tower, well, the reason they are here is one of 2 things. Either they are, in a matter of speaking, on a break of sorts. Not all Guardians can fight infinitely and forever. Even they have their limits. And so they are allowed a few days of respite before having to be sent back out again. For without their strength on the battlefield, we will crumble against the Vex threat. Or they are newly risen Guardians, too youthful to face this threat, and they must be trained and taught first. In fact, I would bet my life that the Vex threat would never have even reached your realm if we had enough force to keep them at bay. But the cup is overflowing, and the water that trickles down now is onto your plates. Such is the reason they invade your realm. They are growing out of control, and we are losing ground. That is why Guardians cannot handle this. They are fighting to hold the tide.
The second question. I was speaking to a couple of people, but Orion being one of them. I'm working together with the Hive. They were the first group that I really met. Worked peace with them, with everything in Bayo 9. I was going down that avenue for... My gear's just not good enough. My skills aren't trained enough. Best way that I find to survive in most of these other worlds, like Iron Grip, great example, is to dive head first. So they're the ones I was looking for. But I was told that the Vex have capabilities that we haven't even seen yet. Apparently, if you're weak enough, they could just throw you into some other dimension, realm, phase you out of existence, depending on which ones you're fighting, which ones you're looking at. So we were told about something, trying to make sure I remember all of it right. Some place called I believe it was like the Dark Forest, the Black Forest. Somewhere inside of it, there's a shard of the Traveler.
Precisely. The Dark Forest. It is a location we found and named after the Red War. That was a warlike event that destroyed this original structure which you now see repaired in full working order. Gaul, Dominus Gaul, was a Cabal warlord who led a faction known as the Red Legion. They had assaulted our great tower from the rear. Beyond this window, their ships, crimson red, could be seen as they blotted our sky with smog, and they attacked our last city, encased our traveler in a cage which took all light from all guardians. For a time, everyone was mortal, and we lost a great deal of guardians during this time. However, we had found shards of the Traveler, destroyed when this cage was wrapped around, which had fallen to Earth, and the Dark Forest was where one of the strongest shards were. The speaker once said, "Where shines light, so too follows darkness." And so naturally, with a shard of our great traveler lying in the open like this, something was drawn to attend to it. The Taken, most specifically, have a vested interest in the energy. Perhaps it is merely something that attracts them, perhaps they steal energy from within. Either way, we coined this place the Dark Forest because it attracted so much of the darkness to it. The forest was gnarled and twisting, its plants rotten and viscous, covered in thorns, as though the very nature had been poisoned by the paracausal darkness which threatened our realm, and had now transformed to match its equally terrifying capability. Guardians ventured within and utilized the shard of the Traveler to regain their light, connect once more with the Traveler, and then led an assault on Gaul which would crush him and his legion, including his grasp on our Traveler, freeing other Guardians. Regardless, the shard has been seen as a communion point even to this day. Though difficult and dangerous to come across, it can be one of the easiest ways to contact our Traveler. Aside from prayers near the tower's side, it is direct and instantaneous. Why were you suggested to look into it, dear friend?
He had suggested that if there were those of us that were strong of heart, clear of mind, common hero trait kind of stuff, that maybe we could receive a boon. Maybe not become full guardians, but maybe something to help ground us so that whenever the Vex try, considering that whenever we do go have to save Bucky and Liberty, we're gonna have to go onto their territory, not ours. This boon could possibly give us that fighting edge to make sure that we all don't get wiped out immediately.
Ishkirik, would you kindly bring me one of the books on the Traveler's Blessing, please? I know that which you speak of. There is a blessing the traveler bestows unto guardians, and rarely unto those who do not hold an affinity for the lights. Thank you. Here it is.
Please handle it with care, Cal.
Of course. The empowerment of light. It is a boon which can be granted unto guardians or unto common folk. Pardon the wording. I mean nothing insulting by it. It
Perfectly
is
fine.
a blessing given by the traveler which strengthens all things within a person, from their mental strength and fortitude to their physical strength, raw power, and their very durability. Humans can find themselves with near superhuman strength. You could very well match the power of a guardian, or, at the very least, hold half that power. Regardless, an empowering of the light would certainly give you an excellent edge against the Vex.
Do you think this would be something that, well, first off, that we could even do, but secondly, if we can, could you help us get there?
Ethan and I have been doing some work recently. Some time ago, he obtained a weapon known as the Eyes Luna. A weapon that starts as an ordinary hand cannon, but when imbued with the Traveler's Light, can become a legendary weapon of relic. An old Golden Age weapon known as the Hawk Moon. A powerful hand cannon imbued with the paracausal light of the Traveler. However, the Traveler has set before him a trial of sorts, to commune with him, to gain his strength, and utilize it to empower the weapon. However, on an operation I had set up for him to commune with the Traveler and begin this process, the Cabal intervened, took the shard right out from under us, and left, leaving Ethan only a small shard he could utilize to imbue with his weapon. As it stands, he needs that shard, and we need to return it to its original resting place within the Dark Forest. As such, perhaps you could join forces with him, fight back against this Cabal insurgents who has taken the shard from us, and not only could Ethan commune with it, but you could too, and upon doing so, get what you seek. While I cannot aid in the intel side of this operation, as I have devoted myself completely to the Vex threat, considering its size and how many people require my concentration on this strictly, I can aid in your transport there. Intel, however, will be dealt by another. I recently contacted an individual by the name of Lord Shax, the leader of the Crucible. A strong-willed man who enjoys taking the fight to strong entities such as the Cabal. He was to be in charge of Ethan's next assignment regarding the empowering of his Eyes Luna. I can add you all onto his team. You would be fighting alongside Ishkirik as well, and when cutting through the Cabal and making your way to the Shard of the Traveler, you can commune with it and ask for this blessing, so long as you include those you wish to be blessed, and you have the aforementioned qualities within you, for you do require a clear and strong mind to speak with Divine. You may very well get the boon you seek, alongside your allies, especially if you are doing it to push back against the darkness and save lives.
Okay. I'll start gathering a team, talk to the others, see if we can schedule some kind of meeting for Friday. Try to see if getting everybody together, possibly, having a discussion about this. And I don't want anyone going for the temptation of power to be able to kill anything, as a matter of fact. If anyone's going for this, it's to save somebody. I'm not about to have somebody with power who doesn't need it. Got enough of that already.
Keep in mind, dear friend, Ethan and Ishkirik are already looking into this situation. As such, they are 2, with yourself making 3. I would advise no more than 5 to 6 who are to join you in your fight against the Cabal. But choose wisely. The Cabal are strong, one of the most militarily advanced races within our solar system. They are quite difficult to deal with. Ensure those you choose are strong and made for the task.
If you wish, I can come with you to Saphira and converse all the people you wish to. Give my own input.
It's not a bad idea. I'll take it. And I'll make sure to let
It would
them know.
indeed be wise. A final thing I have heard of, which has me concerned, involving the Vex situation, is a lack of communication, whether it be on purpose or accidentally. I've noticed a few times you have mentioned that you are not availed of a situation, that you are unknowing to present developments. Allow me to say this here and now. Information saves lives. Withholding it takes them. Do not keep this to yourselves. Share as much as you can. Those who are knowledgeable will survive. Those who are not will be crushed. It is not a matter of statistic. It is not a matter of guess. There is no luck involved. It is guaranteed. If you keep information, you will break. So, do yourselves and your fellow man the kindness, the favor of sharing this integral information.
Excuse
And
me.
should you ever be unavailed of a situation, should they do unto you the disservice of withholding this information, tell me at once. Not only will I ensure you know what it is you are facing next, but I will give them a stern talking to regarding this. And if they continue these selfish ways, I will remove them from this equation. They will
Understood.
not be allowed to aid in a situation they are
Copy
actively
that.
being a detriment to.
Actually, I guess in that regard, it should be brought forward that we have had at least 2 incidents that I'm aware of where people under my house have been impeded due to compartmentalization of information and restriction of access due to believed superiority in regards to how to deal with the situation. Is there anything that you might be able to do to help alleviate that issue in regards to the individuals who are currently at present dealing with the threat?
For the moment being, I have imparted my thoughts unto you, told you to share information. I expect you to say the same unto your fellow operatives. Tell them, too, that it is important to share this information, that lives depend on this knowledge. And if they will not listen, tell them it is I who have said this, for I have, here and now. The sharing of this information is integral. Should they still refuse to do so, take care to remember their name. Bring it to me. I will speak to them. I will tell them that their very attendance in this operation, their willingness to aid, while appreciated, hangs in a balance because of their poor behavior involving this situation. Should they refuse to share information still even after this, they will be removed from these operations going forward. I do not care what they say. I do not care what they do. I will not have them put your lives, or the lives of others, working together for peace, for prosperity, to save, put in danger because of their carelessness or their selfishness. So long as you spread this word, and tell those you spread it to spread it even farther, all should be well. But if they continue these behaviors, tell me.
I wonder if I have been misled too. Though I recall whenever I have asked for information, I have always received it.
Main thing that I've always followed is don't immediately assume malice where idiocy can fall in. There's a good chance information could have been forgotten, someone could have just not thought, or God knows how this is affecting a lot of us. So I want to try to hope that no one's hiding information from any of us, or if anyone is reacting, it's out of fear, not out of hatred.
As I have said, it could very well be merely an accident, and I would not go out of my way to claim that your good people would withhold information from one another on purpose. But it could very well be a possibility there is some malicious intent behind it, be it forgetfulness or on purpose. Please, share what you know and tell those you share the information on to spread it furthermore. The more interconnected we are in our pathways of communication, the higher likelihood we have of survival.
If I may, is it possible to acquire an itemized or complete listing of all individuals who are from our planet and our realm that are assisting with the matter at current?
There are a lot. Since
We
the
have
capturing of...
We have a log, actually. Are you included in it?
No, I'm not.
There is indeed the communications. I will have
then
you
we fix
connected
that
to our
tomorrow.
post-haste. Let us see. There are a lot who are aiding since the capture of Bucky and Liberty. Whether or not they intend to weather the storm and take the fight to Panoptes himself, I do not know. But for the moment being, there are a good deal of individuals helping. I will add you to these communications so you may be appraised of the situation and share what you know, and encourage others to share as well.
I see. Thank you.
Of course. Now, is there anything you all require of me further?
Is it okay if I keep this book on hunters? It's nothing crazy. It seems to be more of a historian.
Oh, yes. There are a good deal of copies on this one. It is utilized by hunters to learn furthermore about themselves and their capabilities. You're welcome to keep it.
We should check it out first. To ensure that the librarians know it's not missing.
I will
Here, I'll do that for you.
Thank you.
I do have a bit of a
Being
question,
that
actually.
Ishtirik is a warlock, he can ensure the others are appraised. But please,
I wouldn't mind helping with the shard, although I do not have a heart.
I do not understand what the importance of that is regarding this.
Oakley, don't forget. Remember Orion was telling us about them. Exos. They're entirely synthetic, but Traveler still gave them light all the same.
Heart is more metaphorical than physical.
Precisely. It is not the organ that one has that gives you the possibility of this blessing.
Of course.
It is one's ideals, their core beliefs, and their strength. The speaker once said, "The light is in all places, in all things. Try to snuff it out, trap it, it will prevail." You will come to find, regardless of what you do or don't have, you may very well be given that blessing simply because of your strong character.
There was a time where our kind thought the light would not touch us again. Yet here I stand, proving that there is no one who cannot be touched by the Traveler's Night.
Alright.
Never this was even true for the Hive. Deepest
Yeah.
depths.
The shiny ones.
Mm-hmm.
The deepest depths of darkness, light shines the brightest.
Alright.
Indeed.
Thank you for answering
I'm
my
good on my
question.
side.
I'm ready.
The last thing I wish to ask is, there is a question on the functionality of Vex technology. In its entirety, I'm looking for any information on how it functions from start to finish.
There are a lot of unknowns regarding their particular technology. Some of the innards elude even the finest of warlocks. Those who have traversed the corridors of time have come out unknowing, unfortunately. But what can be gathered is this. Their weapons do not come with triggers. Whatever allows them to fire is done from the Vex's innards, a connection they have with their weapon. However, their weaponry can be gutted and repurposed, combined with the technology we have here to create weapons that can fire on our say-so. The void energies within, taken and re-imbued into other weapons.
Understood. Thank you for this knowledge.
Of course.
I believe at this time that is all that we have.
Yeah.
Very well. Then, my friends, may you walk in the light. Should you head to the edge of the tower, a skiff should be waiting. You will board it, and it will take you back to your realm.
Very well. Thank you for hosting us here. On this
Of
time.
course. Thank you for your time and your questions.
Very well then. Let
Nice
us make
seeing
our
you
way
again,
out.
Marshmallow.
May we meet again. You know, the purple had one goal.
You sure, baby? They weren't making that mission out to be as if it was nothing. Those Cabal hurt a lot of us before.
You think I'm gonna back down?
No, but I think I'd be a bad boyfriend if I didn't check.
Well, you're putting your ass on the line for it. I better make sure you don't get into too much trouble.
Well, I ain't got a lot of the uniqueness of everybody else. I feel like I'm always trailing behind. I worry this shard may be the only way that I'm gonna be able to keep up.
Baby, quit doubting your heart.
I'm not doubting my heart. What I am doubting is the fact that my guns don't hurt them. My blade requires me to work twice as hard as I normally do against them. And I take time to coat myself in bandages, and I have to rest for long periods of time that some of them don't. I'm not saying that I'm weak. I'm saying these guys are stronger than me. I have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, that's why you want to get this thing. So you got a fighting chance. Which means
That's why I want to
you
get this
need backup.
mission done with the Hive. Okay, I got you. I get that. Don't worry, I'm not saying I don't. I wish we just could have gotten this job done with the Hive. Maybe if I had a little bit of better armor and maybe actually started using that Vex weapon that I had, maybe then I could start kicking a bit more of a punch, but it feels like time just keeps getting stripped away.
The
Okay.
good thing is that now we have a starting place. At least we know we have access to resources now through Mithrax that we can utilize to go ahead and try to expedite that process.
I gotcha.
So-
Just not trying to rush it, but it just feels like these motherfuckers are rushing it for us. Goddamn
We don't
Vex.
play by anyone else's game. We play by our own.
For now, you got the shredder. It might not do a lot, but it's gonna do something. And
Still feels
We'll get
funny
you
in my
something.
hands. Ugh.
Well,
Get
at
you
least you
some.
have something in your hands. I have a pea shooter.
well, you could ask
technically-
Mithrax.
Technically, via the Hive, my gun's kind of a pea shooter. Just a weird one.
I'll keep that in mind.
Let
One
me
day.
see what I can do. Let me talk to my brother. If there's any chance of us trying to get that Hive mission done so that you can get some armor, it'd be better than nothing.
You don't gotta rush me too much, honey. Like I said, I'm talking to Zuki. We're figuring something out. Just in case.
This shard thing, you wouldn't half need it.
I think I still want it. This is not as armored as it's out to be.
No,
This is very
it's
light mobility.
very much so. So, get your beetle armor. Use your shredder. We'll go get that shard thing for you. You have a fighting chance.
Sounds like a deal to me. Alright, we got a
Stop these
long ride
fools.
home, and I really gotta use the bathroom.
You all board the ship, transmat taking you within, and within maybe a few hours' time, you're able to return home. And that is cards down.